what I suggested. Now we will learn about collective enlightenment. Collective understand that are not just ideas. They are not connected and separate items. Maybe they look separate. Body-wise, physically, they look separate. We all seem like individual items. But whether we like it or not, whether we accept it or not, we are all interlinked by collective. It is like this. If the food is poison, only the person who eats it suffers, not me. Then you can think of yourself as, but as you move to cellular level of existence, our interconnectedness is as we are not just physical body, we are not just things. We are big. I have a leg. Plant layer is the red body. It's first physical body. Then inside, the pranic layer, mind layer, then telepathy. So as we inside, more subtle, we are all. You can think yourself as physically, but as we move to subtle level of existence, it is our interconnectedness more vivid. For example, if the air is who is even if they are a long distance from each other, this connection and this means that in the subtler and state, the distance between us is more than the physical and breath level. Level, the gross level. The more that moves, the more subtler. The next layer is breath layer or pranamaya. We are connected more to the mental level. The third mental level or mental layer is the third. When I say mental level or layer, I mean the level of thought. Our thoughts affect not only us but also everyone around us and beyond. Your thoughts are more infectious than your thoughts. In fact, people may escape from your hold, but they cannot escape from your thoughts. Take a simple example of going to a college football match. Understand? When you enter the stadium itself, you can see the air charged. You are also immediately affected by the cheering, the waving there. See, we do exist. What is collective consciousness? We are trying to understand, to live and live yet in enlightenment. We exist in 5 koshas or 5 layers. The physical layer, the breath,
mind, intelligence layer, and the bliss layer, right? We have studied this. In the physical layer, we all separate. We look so separate. Dhyana is separate, Dharma is separate, and everyone we see as a separate individual entities. But as we move towards the subtler layers of our existence, we are all connected. We are not separate individual identities. Whether we understand or not, whether we accept it or not, whether we, it we become more we travel subtler layers, the more we are connected. The third layer, see, in the second layer itself, we are connected, the breath layer. Now, the third one is more, the third layer is a mental layer. Even more than the first and second layer, the physical and the breath level, we are more closely at the connected at the mental level. Mental level or mental layer or manomaya kosha in Sanskrit, that means thoughts. Our thoughts affect not only us, but also everyone around us. Your thoughts are more infectious than cold. In fact, people may escape from your cold, but cannot escape from your thoughts. Take a simple example of going to a college football match on a Sunday. When you enter the stadium itself, if you can see a charge with emotions, you are also immediately affected by the cheering mood prevailing there. Similarly, if there is a group violence, like a religious fight or collective grief, like a death in the house, the mood affects you beyond your control. The chapter on intelligence has more details on this, the intelligence layer. So we are connected as we move towards more and more closer. It at the bliss layer, the core of our existence, we are all actually not separate. We are all one. So when we understand this cognition, when we lot of completion happens, completion with others happen, a lot of conflicts that we carry all the time drops. When we understand that we are all actually one at the core level, physically we may look different. As we move closer and closer to the core of our being, that is same for all. We are all connected there. When we understand that, we look at the person as a being, same reflection as you, then naturally the conflict between the people just automatically drop to radiate, live and radiate enlightenment. The biggest breakthrough we get in our thought current when we understand that the core level we are all one and the same. We are all interconnected. Only in the physical level, we are separate. Any questions on that? Please do post. Now, there's one more important powerful cognition that we are going to learn now to live and radiate enlightenment. Seer, seen, and see. Listen to this. If you listen to this carefully, you'll get a powerful click. We see two things in the process of seeing, the seer and the seen. Meaning, the one that whoever sees is the seer, and whatever things that you see. You're seeing Niagara Falls, you're seeing your home, whatever it is, that is the seen. You are the one seeing. So the what is happening between you, the seer, and the seen is seeing. So what actually happening in the process of seeing? Through the example of eyes is taken here. It applicable to all other aspects. All other aspects of our existence, we are taking only the eyes. In the example of eyes is taken here, it applies for all the senses. From the seer, consciousness takes a jump continuously to the seen. Because it is not able to relax into the seer itself, because of its restlessness, it gives life to the seen. The continuous jump that happens between the seer and the seen, from seer to the seen, the consciousness jumps from you to what you're seeing, and from there to again you. So it continues jump, the restlessness happening. That is what is happening from you, seer, to the seen, from the seen to here. The between what is happening, the jumping is seeing. When the seer is not completely in bliss within himself, he starts becoming restless and jumps. When he jumps, he gives life to the scene. Because he gives life to the scene, the process of jumping becomes seeing. As long as seeing is there, you are restless. You cannot live enlightenment. As long as seeing exists, you cannot live and radiate enlightenment. There are two ways to drop this process of seeing. Either the seer or the seen has to drop. Either seer or the seen has to drop for the process of seeing to stop. Are you all with me so far? Are you able to follow so far? Can I have a thumbs up? Please post your comments. Now you can see this, the seeing between seer and seen and the seeing. As long as seeing is there is no living enlightenment. It's not possible. Then how to stop this seeing? Either seer has to drop or seeing has to drop, right? Seer has to drop or seeing has to drop. So seeing will not be there. The jumping from here, there will not be there. When the seen is renounced, say two things can possible here. Seer, seen is renounced or seer is renounced. Two things can happen for the seeing to stop, right? So when the seen is renounced, it loses its power over the seer. There is no point in jumping because there is nothing to be seen. Imagine the first case, there's nothing to be seen. Okay, seen is renounced. You decided you are not going to go for any vacation. You decided you are not going to see anything. Movie. I'm just taking an example. You renounce that. When the seen is renounced, it loses its power over the seer. There is no point in jumping because there is nothing to be seen. When there is no place to jump, then nothing to see, the seer relaxes in the seer itself, himself. Then seeing does not happen. When seeing is not there, the seer is enlightened. When he relaxes in himself, the seer relaxes in himself, there's nothing outside to be seen. Then the seer is enlightened. You live enlightenment. A person who stops this jump by dropping the scene is a renouncer, a sannyasi. He takes away all his desire to see things, to believe that any one of these objects hold value for him. The scene becomes unexciting. Then he jumps, and the jumping stops for him. He becomes enlightened through renouncing. This is a true self-knowledge, jnana. Now, next case. Seer relaxes into seer. Only the scene exists. There is no seer. The second case. In the path of jnana, the seer experiences detachment and a complete witnessing of life. In this way, he tries to discover reality. The main objective is the development of a sharp and pure intelligence through which reality can be experienced. Adi Shankara, the great enlightened saint from India, walked on the path of jnana, the true knowledge, and attained enlightenment. He created the most profound and sharp scriptures on self-knowledge ever written. On the other hand, when the seer himself drops, we're seeing the second case. Seer drops. What remains is the seen. Again, jumping between the seer and the seen stops. Reality is seen. Only seen exists. There is no seer. The seer becomes enlightened through devotion or bhakti. When the identity of the seer drops, what does it mean by seer disappear? The identity of the seer drops, dissolves into the seen. A deep devotion to existence happens. Everything becomes an exciting manifestation of existence for him. His identity is no longer there. He merges into existence itself. That is why enlightened saints like Mirabai from India, who went on to the path of bhakti, the devotion, and she was always in a trance all the time, merged into God consciousness, forgetting their own identity. That is when the seer disappears. Here the seen is God, whatever form God, only seen, the seen of God exists, and she and her identity disappeared. The seer disappeared. So there is no see. Forgetting their own identity, she just sang praises of God and walked around the streets with no self-consciousness whatsoever. When you understand this, you will have the tremendous energy to control both dreams and life. As of now, you are just a victim. You can't even control your dreams. Can you dream what you want? You can't. You can't control a single incident in your dream. As of now, either you go through the whole dream or you can get out of the dream. You can just wake up. You can't control the dream itself. So, in some way, either the seer or the seen has to stop. Only then the jumping between the seer and the seen will stop. When the jumping stops, the process of seeing also stops. Whether you are stuck with the seer or with the seen, get completely stuck and you are enlightened. If you are jumping between seer and the seen, not relaxed in either, you are under the illusion of a separate existence of the seer or seen. This jumping is what manifests as your individual seeing. When the frequency of the seen is more than the seer can be changed or manipulated by seeing. When the frequency of the seer is more than the seen can be changed or manipulated by the seer. The morphing of consciousness into seer and seen. As we said earlier, out of causeless overflowing ecstasy, the wave of creation arises in the ocean of existence. The divine, playing with its innumerable manifestations in innumerable universes, is called sustenance. Dropping from the play and relaxing into itself is called dissolution. This is settling back into the absolute state. Then, for no logical reason, the play starts again. And in this way, the universal consciousness assumes innumerable forms, thus creating countless spheres and scenes. This is the origin of the physical world, the world that we live in. Anybody has any comments, understandings? Can you please post it? have been learning living enlightenment and how to radiate and live the living enlightenment. Let's listen from Swamiji for a few more minutes about living enlightenment at the last segment of today's sessions.
What you desire in the life is different. What you believe is going to be happening in your life is different. What you desire will not manifest in your life. What you believe only will manifest in your life. What you desire is not going to manifest. What you believe is only going to manifest. Yesterday we were having a session in the inner awakening about the believed identity and desired identity. What do you believe and what you desire? You may believe one thing, you may desire something else. For example, you desire wealth, you desire health, you desire name and fame, but you strongly believe all this will never happen in your life. You desire wealth, you desire name and fame, you desire health, you desire all this. But do you believe all these are going to manifest in your life? No. Most of us don't, most of the time. What do you believe only manifests. If it's a bad news for you, if you feel, oh God, then I don't believe anything good. I always believe. When it comes to bad things, I visualize so clearly and see that it is possible for me, it is going to happen. When it comes to good thing, I can't even imagine. Even if I push my visualization, it is not clicking. How many of you feel that? I have a good news for you. Desire, belief, both can be redundant, can be made irrelevant by the conscious will. Understand? You desire for great health, but you always believe you will only be tired, sick, dragging your life. Your desire is health. Your belief is sick or clinically fit. But if you will install the will of immortality of the Sadashiva, this both, your desire and belief, both can become redundant, irrelevant. Bringing the will to play and making your belief and desire redundant is what I call Jivan Mukti, living enlightenment. Listen, bringing your will, playing with your life, with your will, making desire and belief redundant is living enlightenment. You may be believing your life is negative. You may be desiring to have your life positive. But you can bring your will and make both redundant and manifest the life you want is the science of Sadashivoham. That is the science of Sadashivoham. Your will, Anya, is powerful enough to make your desire and belief both redundant. Listen. Tons of methodologies Sadashiva is revealing in the Agamas. Agama is complete works of Sadashiva. Because the word complete exists, I'll accept that word complete works. Agama is complete works of Sadashiva. In complete works of Sadashiva, which is available, Sadashiva explains tons of methods. He explains the physics of the Maya matrix, chemistry of the Maya matrix, biology of the Maya matrix, he explains the physics of mastering the matrix. The chemistry need to happen in you to master the matrix. Biology of mastering the matrix. Above all, the alchemy of Sadashivoham. I'll give you one small example. There's a beautiful verse in Guru Gita. Ajnana timirandasya jnananjana shalakaya chakshurun militam yena tasmai sri gurave namaha. The translation is, I bow down to the Guru who applied the knowledge eyeliner and opened my eyes, which was blinded by ignorance. If you just read this superficially, you will miss the whole truth. You need to ask a question. How can eyeliner open the eyes and make the eyes have vision? Eyeliner is always beauty product. Maybe it can make others feel you have a big eyes. That cannot bring vision. It can change the reputation of your eyes, but not the character of your eyes. Then what does this shloka mean? If you further read the Agamas, at one place Sadashiva describes detailed way. Jnananjana is an actual eyeliner prepared by an enlightened master by instilling his bioenergy into it. If it is applied on all your three eyes, you also need to understand here, when Sadashiva says, Chakshurun militam yena, he uses the word plural, not dual. So it does not mean two eyes. Sanskrit has singular, dual, plural. So he is using the word plural, not dual. He is not talking about just two eyes. He is talking about three eyes or more than two. Chakshurunmilitam yena Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam yena. It is actually a alchemy science where with a pure ghee, pure cotton wig is used and the lamp is lit, energized through the awakened third eye of an incarnation or an enlightened being. His very bioenergy is instilled in that fire, and the smoke which comes out of that fire is captured on a silver vessel, and the pure cow ghee, desi cow ghee, is added to that through the proper process. An alchemy product called Jnananjana is prepared. That Jnananjana applied on three eyes detoxifies all the three eyes and raises your frequency, makes you understand the 5 aspects of Ishvara and 11 dimensions of universe and 25 states of consciousness, the whole Maya matrix. It is an alchemy science to master Maya matrix. Most of us use this verse just to bow down, and or we have a very superficial understanding. Oh, ignorance is covering the eyes and knowledge is like eyeliner. You apply that and your eyes open. How can eyeliner open your eyes? A simple logic. Your eyeliner may make others to see you, but how can it make you to see others? It's an alchemy. It's an alchemy described elaborately in the Agamas to make you experience awakening of all three eyes and manifest many powers Sadashiva describes in Agamas. Understand of course, all of you are going to have the Jnananjana in Sadashivoham 2016. A properly prepared Jnananjana which literally functions on all your three eyes and makes you all manifest all the powers of Sadashiva. The whole science of Sadashivoham, methods to realize it, the tons of methods explained by Sadashiva in his complete works. I am literally using every possible available tool, method to awaken, every possible tool and method to awaken and give you the experience of Sadashivoham. From Jnananjana to the ultimate, very Shaktipada. Shaktipada is not energy darshan. Understand? The Shakti Nipada is not energy darshan. Energy darshan is too small word. Shakti Nipada can be translated only as power darshan. it can only be translated even roughly as power manifestation darshans. You will be experiencing from Jnananjana the alchemy of Sadashivoham to Shakti Nipata, the power manifestation darshans, whole spectrum, everything Sadashiva is revealing in his complete works will be experientially available to you. Experientially available to you in Sadashivoham. Understand it is an invitation for you from the spaceship Kailasa to wake up from the Maya matrix. It's an invitation for you from the spaceship Kailasa. Even Kailasa was attacked by Ravana with multiple hands, the artificial ignorance. But could not do anything. The artificial ignorance got crushed under the Kailasa. It's an invitation from the spaceship Kailasa for all of you to wake up from the Maya matrix, to master Maya matrix. Do not miss waking up from the Maya matrix by giving the reasons which are given to you by artificial ignorance. Do not have the artificial ignorance reasons. Understand? People ask me in that Matrix movie, what is the artificial ignorance, Swamiji? Artificial intelligence is what I call artificial ignorance. What is the artificial ignorance, Swamiji? The common understandings we started executing, which has no existential reality but which affects all our lives strongly, like a currency. The concept of citizenship, concept of ownership, all that has no existential reality, but the understandings we evolved, we arrived for our coexistence, those are called artificial ignorance. I tell you, I am not saying artificial ignorance should not be there. I am only saying it should not be there more than 51% in you. Let your life not be driven by it. If it is less than 51%, you are the master. Artificial ignorance can be a great slave, but not the master on their own. If more than 51% of you is artificial ignorance, then already you are under matrix. Understand? Don't think matrix may start at some time. If 51% of you are being driven by this artificial ignorance, like a concept of ownership, concept of money, concept of currency, concept of citizenship and all that, which is not there existentially, but made to believe, understandings. If more than 51% of you is being driven by all this, please be very clear. You are already under the matrix. Jivan Mukti, living enlightenment, is establishing your confidence and declaring your conscious integrity and manifesting your conscious intention, Satya Sankalpa, on cosmic principles. I'll repeat. Living enlightenment, Jivan Mukti, is establishing your confidence, declaring your conscious integrity, manifesting your conscious will, Satya Sankalpa, on the cosmic principles. Listen intensely. Pure consciousness residing in his formless state is Paramashiva. If it manifests in your body with absolute freedom, no suffocation, suffering, pain, conflict, powerlessness, nothing. Absolute powerfulness as it is. If it is radiating in your body, that is called Jivan Mukti, living enlightenment. Any suffering, conflict, suffocation you feel is bondage. Knowing there is a bondage and you are not able to relieve yourself from that bondage, you go through that same rut again and again. That is called addiction. The good news is, a being who manifests as pure Paramashiva, an incarnation, can de-addict you just like that. Your consciousness having your brain completely for its enjoyment, possession, cognition and manifestation of its existence absolutely freely, healthily, happily is called living enlightenment. Every pattern you develop which brings suffocation, suffering, powerlessness in you is going to be the punishment for you first, before you even think of punishing others. Tyaga is cleaning up all the brain grooves which are destroyed, poisoned, calcified, addicted,
Yes. That come to the conclusion of our sessions for today. And let's conclude with the Purna Mantra. Let's pay our deepest gratitude to Swamiji. With the space of deep gratitude, let's conclude with the Purna Mantra. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudashyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Tasat. Sarvam Bhagavad Shri Nithyananda Paramashiva Padukarpanamastu. Om Nithyanandam. Nithyanandam, everyone. Thank you so much. See you all tomorrow. Nithyananda.